Hello, everybody, and welcome to our kinesiology presentation. My name is Siobhan Guthrie. Hopefully you can see and hear me okay as we start this Zoom call. And whether you're listening live or to the recording, you're all very welcome. I've been involved in systematic kinesiology since I first came across it in 1995. And so at that time I had digestive problems. I had bad skin, low energy, and so I'm very interested. I'm very excited to be sharing with you today some of the possibilities for health and where things could be improved, I suppose, in Ireland. So whether you came across us through Facebook, whether you have seen some of my Facebook Lives, or you met us even at the Health Roadshow that we did at the end of July, you're all very welcome. So what I'm going to cover today is a little bit about, how we are, I'm going to share a little bit about this way of looking at healthcare for the future. I think this is an amazing approach to health and life in general. And we're going to share a little bit about the fully integrated approach that we teach here at Kinesiology Zone. And we're going to talk obviously a little bit about what systematic kinesiology is and how you can be free of, help you get out of pain, stress, and any stuck emotions, overwhelm, which I think is such a big thing for people in our busy lives, and really help you to get out of those things more simply than maybe we've been led to believe. So I'll give you an overview of our whole person approach and what it is that what is systematic kinesiology, and how we can look at helping to turn around this health crisis that we have here in Ireland, and of course in many countries around the world. And then later on I'll tell you a bit about the Balanced Health course, which we feel is something that everyone will benefit from, and so we will we'll see how all that goes. But hopefully you can see me okay, and you are having that you can see me okay. I'm not sure which video is showing, but hopefully you can see me. All right. So you are absolutely in the right place if you're interested in holistic and alternative health, complementary health. If you'd like to know a little bit more about how this particular approach works. You're also, if you're new to therapies, holistic therapies, but you just know that you're looking for something a little bit different. Maybe you already work with clients, but wish that you could do more. And, sometimes that is something that happens when, you get into a particular modality and you know that there's something else underlying that could be contributing to why someone's maybe not getting better as fast as you would like to. But yeah, mostly, usually our students are curious about wanting to understand their body better and how everything is connected. But maybe you've had a treatment before. Maybe you came to our Health Roadshow and you had a little sample treatment. So you're all very welcome. I mean, the thing is that most people like to help other people as well. And so that's where we get a lot of our, people who are joining our community and helping other people. It's really what makes us tick. So who we are, well, our mission really is to be able to offer a viable option when it comes to health that deals with seeking to identify where the root cause of a problem is. And we want to, we have a mission to have lots of practitioners in Ireland that is, that offers an excellent service in helping people get unstuck by identifying the root cause of their problems and treating those problems. And we are a team of course leaders that, have made a huge difference already to the lives of many others. And they're made up of graduates of the Kinesiology Zone courses. We just love what we do. And so we run a lot of educational workshops and courses all around the country. and so you can get to experience this approach yourself, but also, of course, as they're practitioners as well. And so sometimes when people are struggling with a health issue, then obviously they can see our practitioners as well. So the team has been growing over the last few years, and here I am here with my group of 12 course leaders, and they're a key part of our mission, with a bigger vision for what we're doing. More people want to get on board, and so I'm very grateful to these guys because for their encouragement, their support, and their hard work as well in spreading the word of kinesiology and how simple healthcare can be. So we feel that generally we feel that health has been made to be a bit more difficult, a bit more complicated, and it's often been taken out of our hands. And so and being kind of generalized guidelines isn't something that necessarily works so well on each individual, because we really believe that people are unique and are able to, when you find out what's going on for that person individually, it can make a real difference to turning your health around. And so that's what I want to share with you now, a little bit about our unique approach to healthcare. This is an illustration of the whole person. This circle with these 4 components that we call realms represents the whole person. Anything to do with the mind is in this first part of the circle there. You see mental, and so anything to do with the mind, we have a brain, we have emotions, thoughts, all of that's the brain is operated by the mind, and that is that's a very important part of what are we thinking about every day, what are we, how are we feeling, etc., is often dominated by what thoughts we're choosing to think about, worries, stresses, fears, and that sort of thing. So anything to do with the mind is dealt with in this top part of the circle. Then we have the chemistry. So in the chemical realm, chemical is anything to do with diet, nutrition, digestion, biochemistry, or the body's chemistry. It's a very important realm, and what we eat or what we consume every day is important. And also in there would be, apart from the nutrition, would also be, in terms of medications and drugs and things like that. Those would go into the chemical realm, and which is where pharmaceutical industry has kind of taken over, along with maybe the food industry as well. It has a huge influence on our health. So it's a very important realm. Then on this right hand side is the physical side, and this is anything to do with our structure, our movement, muscles, ligaments, bones, all that sort of stuff. How we move, how we maybe don't move. So our bodies are made to move, and so this physical side is also a very important part of what we do, of our health. And then in the very middle, you see that little yin and yang sign. Hopefully you can see my mouse moving around. In the middle there is our energy. That's our life force energy. And life force is probably like more of a kind of a mystery to a lot of people. We're born, we come alive with our first breath, and it's pretty much a miracle. But this is how, when we are looking at a client, when a client comes into us for treatment and they're struggling with a particular health issue, we are looking at that person from the whole person approach. So we're looking at their mental, emotional side of things. We're looking at their chemistry. We're looking at the physical body as well as the energy there in the middle. And so this, as I said, this is an illustration of the whole person. And when we talk about the holistic the word holistic, it's intended to mean addressing the whole person. And so, so if we look at, and this is in no way to say that these don't work or anything like that, but in the mental realm, you have lots of specialists in that area. So you've got psychologists, psychiatrists, hypnotherapists, people who help with counseling and coaching and things like that, all in the mental realm. And but they probably don't go necessarily into the chemical realm, the nutritional realm, or the structural or physical realm. Then in the chemical realm, we have people who look at, your diet, nutritionists, the pharmaceutical and food industry that I talked about as well. They are looking at, okay, where's the problem in the chemical realm? Is it something that you're eating? And then in the physical aspect, we have people who maybe don't get enough exercise, or equally get too much exercise and make themselves more prone to injury. So you've got chiropractic, you've got physiotherapy, you've got osteopathy and other physical types of approaches and interventions. And then obviously in the energy realm, you've got acupuncturists and people who work like with Reiki and things like that. So you've got lots of ways in which you can go for help to help with with a particular aspect of the whole person. But as in all different types of healthcare, we're kind of split into different areas, and which has its advantages, of course. If you have a heart problem, you want to go to a heart specialist. If you've got you've got ear, nose, and throat specialists, you've got gastrointestinal specialists, and that's fantastic for in acute care. When something's an emergency, when time is of the essence, then it's really important that we have acute care. But I suppose the problem is that when you work with when you've got a chronic condition, you haven't been able to find the problems that are like the root cause of a problem, and maybe it's even like it was so long ago you don't even know when it was. Then it becomes more problematic to only see all the problems coming. Like if you've got a digestive problem, it would be easy to think that it is only due to something going on in your digestion and something to do with the chemical realm. But what we can do with kinesiology is to find out, well, maybe there's a mental, emotional component, or maybe there's an energetic or even a physical reason. And so that's what I love about kinesiology, is that when we adopt a truly holistic approach, like working with the whole body in all of those areas, it can make a huge difference. So it is very much an integrated approach, a whole person approach. We look at every client and through this MCPE perspective. And our goal is obviously to prevent serious illness. But, often we're working with clients who have, serious illnesses that, they maybe not a serious illness, but they are coming to us with problems that, they've been given the all clear. They've been told that everything is fine, and that they are, sorry, I just want to clear up something there. So what I wanted to do was, is like what we're, just want to make sure that I'm on screen here. So let's see. So what I wanted to make sure was that you kind of got this idea that when we are working with someone on an integrated approach, when we are working with a client, we can work in all of these areas and find out what makes you tick. What is the fundamental, root cause of a health issue? And often it's not as complicated as we are sometimes led to believe. But the simplicity of sometimes finding, something that you're eating every day can make a huge difference to, often it's something that we're doing every day, a lifestyle issue that is, something that as I said, we get used to how we feel normally. When I first got involved in kinesiology, I was had bad skin, I had digestive problems, which I thought were normal, and it was something that I kind of just put up with, was resigned to feeling that way. And then when I discovered kinesiology and realized, there's another level of health that I wasn't aware of before, I was able to identify where the problem was coming from. It was something that I was eating every day, along with obviously a few other, like stresses and things like that. And it was able to clear up those digestive problems, that low energy, and the skin problems. And, you know, who knows, you know, that was 20 years ago, who knows what that has prevented in the future, you know, because, you know, these are the things that we don't really know. You know, health usually deteriorates over a long period of time. And so it's something that, you know, once it gets to the stage of illness, you know, it's much harder to find the root cause. But, you know, you can reclaim your health by identifying where the aggressors are. So our kind of fundamental principles when we're working with someone is that it is a fully integrated approach. We use the whole person. We're looking at emotions, we're looking at diet, we're looking at the physical body. Most health problems are lifestyle problems, and which is really empowering, because it means that there's something that I'm doing that is maybe contributing to how I'm feeling. And so therefore, you know, it's not like a complicated thing. It may be that the amount of people who have back pain, who, you know, maybe drink a lot of coffee, and then that causes them to have back pain. It's a contributing cause is dehydration. And so it is as simple sometimes as drinking a bit more water. And, you know, and the water in the coffee isn't necessarily enough. But if you've been suffering from, you know, low back pain for 20 years, then it can be a surprise that, you know, all I have to do is drink more water. And we can show that through kinesiology, how beneficial that is. So sometimes it is as simple as that. And, you know, and as I said, lifestyle problems really helps to, you know, put the onus, but also the empowerment of like, actually there's something I can do very simply that could make a huge difference. So we seek to find the root cause or causes, and when we work in all of the realms simultaneously, then we get better results, because no one problem is purely in the chemical realm, or purely in the mental realm, or purely in the physical realm. There's usually a component part of that. And so it's very rewarding being able to help people with long-term problems when they've been confused about what might be the problem. We understand that the body knows how to heal itself, and what we're doing is, you know, identifying where the problems are. So if, say, for example, you've digestive problems and you've maybe tried to give up certain foods, when we can pinpoint which foods it particularly is, then, you know, then by taking that stress away, then the body can start to heal itself. And really, when I'm working with a client, it's very much about education. Health education, I think, is so important, and it's not necessarily something that is taught in schools. You know, I did learn biology in school, but, you know, it wasn't really the same as what I teach now. So it's, you know, it's very rewarding, because the changes that can happen are quite quick. You know, when someone does make a few changes, it's there's quite a turnaround very quickly. So kinesiology, sometimes it's hard to say, but kinesiology in the middle, and we have there's lots of different types of kinesiology. Some of them are a bit more complicated, and we like to keep it simple, sweetheart, not keep it complicated. Kinesiology. So our knack with the way that we teach our courses is simplicity. And there is a certain power in it being simple, but not doing too much, and so that's why we love it. So kinesiology is the study of muscles and movement in the body. When we use it as systematic kinesiology, it's a system which links the philosophy of traditional Chinese medicine. So our traditional Chinese medicine is a way of looking at the body and how the energy moves around the body. And it's a very powerful way in which we can identify nutrition, emotions, and you know, to ties it in with this traditional Chinese medicine approach. So it's East meets West with the physical nature of muscle testing, and it makes it fully integrated. So we test muscles. Each muscle is related to a different area of the body, and we can get a fairly accurate picture of how, you know, the glands and organs, the lymphatic system, the nervous system, the circulation, you know, how all our structures are working. And, it's quick and accessible. It doesn't require any kind of other tools once you understand where the muscles related to. And so it's a very interesting and quick way to get an assessment of the body. And we often refer to it as a bit like an NCT. It's like you put your car in, you do all these tests, and you see how, what needs to be fixed a little bit. And so, having a kinesiology treatment or learning how to give a kinesiology treatment is very much like giving the car an NCT. So when we're looking at health, what is health is a good question. It's not just the absence of disease or illness. When we're, if we are struggling, and if we're symptom focused and intent on getting rid of a headache, with a painkiller, or ignoring aches and pains, hoping that it'll go away, that's like clearing it. That's getting rid of a pain, but it's not really vibrant health. So, vibrant health would maybe be a clear mind. Brain fog is a very real problem for people. Pain and symptom-free body. So again, pain comes up a lot. Restriction in the body. We don't move very much. Our lifestyle is very much sitting in front of a computer, or sitting in our car, or sitting in front of the TV. Modern life has made us a lot more less movable, if you like. Another thing of a symptom of vibrant health: enjoyment of good, restful, natural sleep, and waking refreshed. Waking refreshed is a good indicator, or waking tired, even though you maybe had 7-8 hours of deep sleep, is a good indication that there's something going on in your lifestyle that is maybe it's food sensitivity, maybe it's dehydration again. It's very, very common for people to be dehydrated, or maybe there's a toxin, something going on. It's definitely worth checking out if you don't wake refreshed. Having a balanced, nutritious diet, trouble-free daily elimination, moving your bowels every day. Anything less than at least once a day, if not twice a day, is considered constipation. And certainly anything over, 2 or 3 days a week, if you're not moving your bowels only every once a week, then that's definitely a problem that can be sorted by looking at foods, looking at emotional stress, and looking at the acupuncture organ, the organs that are related to those acupuncture meridians. And your boundless energy. So definitely something that a lot of people complain about when they come to clinic is they don't have that boundless energy. They're tired all the time. Sleep doesn't refresh them, and they get slumps of energy throughout the day. So this is our MCPE going in here again, and just looking at the different aspects of our philosophy. And when we are able to test someone, we can look to see what parts of their lives are out of balance, and being able to help bring those back into balance. So when we're looking at health, one of the key things that often people are aware of is that they feel stressed. But other people don't feel they're stressed at all, because they often think about stress as being something related to emotional. So stress is more commonly referred to as something emotional, and often confused with tension. But any kind of fear or anxiety or overwhelm can be a stress, and stress can come from external as well. So your job or your relationship, caring for family members, financial problems, that sort of thing. But it's also biological. So remember that biochemistry, that dehydration, being dehydrated is also a stress to the body. The body sees it in the same way. Too much sugar, lack of sleep, or lack of restful sleep, poor diet, being too hot or too cold, being around too noisy, too busy, too many people. Those things can be stressful too. But most people underestimate how stressed they are, or they don't even realize that they're stressed. And so that's why we kind of expand out a little bit about what stress is. We often think of it as being emotional, but we don't realize we're stressed because it's become how they feel all the time, and so it's normal, and we get used to our normal. When I had digestive problems back when I first got involved in kinesiology, I took it as being normal. I was resigned to that's just how I worked. And so if you're struggling with a health issue, you know, that you feel, you know, this is how I've always been, so therefore I'm always going to be this way, there is hope out there if you can understand or get to understand what, or become aware of what is, you know, causing those health issues. I mean, awareness is really the first place to, you know, first become aware of a health issue. You don't really know what to do if you're not aware of where the problem is. So here are some symptoms that you know, being stressed can give you, and it's a long list. You've got decreased metabolism, mood swings, blood pressure, hypoglycemia, that's low blood sugar. So if you get hypoglycemia is when you maybe have a sugar craving, but then you get that real down afterwards. And over long term, that can become that you never really get the high. You never get the high of the sugar. You just kind of feel maybe a bit normal, and then it goes back down again. So that's a long-term blood sugar issue. Constipation, as I said, stress is something that can shut down the digestive system, because if you were looking to, you know, if you come across you're in olden times and you're stressed because you've just eaten a meal, but you've now got a tiger after you, and so the body goes, oh well, I'm just going to digest this meal and maybe even become the meal. But so it shuts down the digestive system, so it can send blood to your legs so you can run, for example. And so it's a natural reaction that when you're under stress, you don't need to be kind of digesting the meal. And what can happen then is that you get you sometimes get reflux, you sometimes get, you know, kind of heartburn, constipation, or even diarrhea sometimes can go the other way as well. But long-term constipation often has an emotional stress behind it as well. So insomnia, difficulty waking up in the morning, palpitations, chronic infections, joint pain, headaches, you know, a whole long list of things in there that could have its roots in stress and adrenal exhaustion as being a key part of it. So, you know, I think that the reality is that, you know, we are in a bit of a healthcare crisis. All around the world, or the Western world at least. This problem is in Ireland, Britain, USA, Australia. You know, our focus has been on crisis care, and long term, it's just not affordable. You know, with an aging population that's getting sicker for various reasons, and as people get older, you know, it gets very expensive to treat those conditions. You know, carers, constant attention, a lot of treatment, and expensive drugs are what's required. And, you know, the money is basically going to run out. And certainly by the time, you know, in the next 15, 20 years, as we all continue to get older, you know, the money's going to have to it's going to run out. And so, you know, mental health, you know, we all know about how much mental health issues and around the services that are available here in Ireland has been worsening. Waiting lists are going in the wrong direction. A child can wait 18 months to see a psychologist and weeks for an emergency appointment. And according to the World Health Organization, 800,000 people worldwide die by suicide each year. So these are all issues that are affecting people all around the world. In the physical side of things, we've got 80% of the Irish population will experience back pain at some stage. And, you know, and one of the questions that we should be asking is, why are we more prone today? Why is it now that people are experiencing back pain more than they did before? Maybe it's this lack of movement, this, you know, this easier lifestyle where we can drive everywhere and we can sit at our desks as opposed to doing physical manual work is perhaps an issue. But also, again, as I said, the dehydration is often a key part. You know, if we're adrenally stressed, we drink more coffee, dehydrate the body, and so maybe that's why we're more prone. On the digestive health side, you know, irritable bowel syndrome is a catch-all syndrome. You know, that I can remember when I lived in London for a while. I remember my friend who she said she went to the doctor and he kind of dismissed it as being anything that was even real. Whereas now it's like it just seems to be a catch-all. Oh, well, it's irritable bowel syndrome. So it's like a collection of symptoms that we haven't found the root cause. And obesity obviously then costs the NHS in the UK 6 billion a year. Couldn't get a figure for Ireland, but we're kind of going in that direction as well. And then low energy. All these things are common complaints that doctors deal with on a daily basis, often seen as a side effect of stress, but few receive a diagnosis or even follow-up consultations. So tiredness is something that is sometimes associated with other conditions, but it could just be like, the person is essentially exhausted because of the lifestyle that they are not even aware is causing such an issue. But at the end of the day, yeah, we are, we can't afford crisis care, but we can afford to teach people how to have better health. People don't want to take responsibility for their own health. We've been brought up, to rely on someone else. Someone else is going to fix us. And we're also denying taking our own responsibility when we don't look beneath the symptom. A sore knee, just ignore it, it'll be fine. Or we take a painkiller. And, we also then often feel a victim to old age and, again, transfer the responsibility to perhaps in the future a surgeon who will replace our hip or our knee. That was a result of dysfunction brought on by our lifestyle. So, but my role really is in as an educator, not to tell people what to do, but to show them and empower them how to take control of their own health. And there's nothing quite like if you get a digestive problem, you go, oh, well, I know what that was about. It helps to reduce worry around, oh my goodness, what's this about? Is it something that's, nasty or something like that? But, teaching people the principles of better health and how they can do it until we get to that stage, it's going to take a long time. Even if we started today, it's going to take a long time to turn this ship around. We've been going down this route for a long time, and we're waking up to the fact that crisis care is in the long term not affordable. So yeah, it's definitely something that is it's an exciting part of an area to be working in. So how can we help ourselves? One of the things that we can do is if we think about it, modern medicine is before modern medicine, self-care was all there was. We needed to have the various cures and the various ways in which to help ourselves. But we do also need to respect the body's ability and innate intelligence to heal itself, and not step in too soon with painkillers or surgeries and other extreme interventions. Supporting the body with what it needs. Simple, like water, good restful sleep, the ability to move around, understanding our emotional needs, all within this MCPE. And people have lots of different ways in which they can explore all of those things. But we often are told, oh well, if there's a pain, just take a painkiller, or oh, it's normal to feel tired after you've been working hard, or repetitive strain injuries are normal because you're using that muscle. All of those things should be able to be done. Your muscles are made to move. But we do believe that the Balanced Health Program should be available to as many people as possible. Learning kinesiology, it helps you to handle stress gently and effectively. I think one of the nicest things about it is that you can recognize the signals of the body that otherwise we might ignore or worry about. It helps to promote good health and make life easier. And you really find out what the body wants for optimum health. It's such an individual thing. People come with the same health issues, and for one person it might be that they need to avoid a particular food. Another person it might be that they need to take a particular supplement, or they're the amount of people that I've worked with that have been dealing with grief. Maybe somebody passed just last year, or maybe even 10-15 years ago, and they're still carrying that, and being able to release those emotions gently and effectively really makes a huge difference. It's such a rewarding job to be involved in. So you can resolve your own fears and phobias when you know how to find out where they are. And the muscle testing really helps to identify where imbalances are before they become even problems. So, you know, sometimes when we're testing in class and people are unaware that that muscle isn't working properly. And so it's always fun to be able to then feel better that you didn't even know that was that you were feeling under par. So our students, they come from all walks of life, but they do have one thing in common, often the compassion, a draw to help other people, and a curiosity about how the body works. Many of our students have, you know, been to a practitioner and they've had their health transformed, their life transformed through another practitioner, making the changes that were suggested in the kinesiology session, and, you know, and your friends and have seen the difference, and they often, you know, are already asking you for your advice and things like that. So, but yeah, there's a lot of different types of people that come to our classes. They're often, you know, whether they're office workers, they work in, you know, they could be a taxi driver, an accountant, all sorts of people. Sometimes they might also have done other therapies. They may have done. We've had reflexologists, massage therapists, physiotherapists, and, you know, I had done, before I came to kinesiology, I had done reflexology as well, and but I just knew that there was something more. And so while it worked on the whole body, it was very, you know, physical and energetic in terms of, you know, working on the feet. But I knew there was something bigger for me. So yeah, our students are. They just love it. So I'll leave those up there for a while. You can read those. But Sadie there, she said that she's actually one of our class of 2017. She's just about to graduate and is enjoying working with kinesiology. So what I have tonight is I'm telling you a little bit about the Balanced Health course now. And so we have the Balanced Health course is effectively a 3-month program. It consists of 2 live weekends. By the end of the first weekend, you'll know how to test your family and friends for food sensitivities. It's one of the key things that often people are very keen to know about kinesiology. They have heard about food testing, and so we do that in the first weekend. Then we have an 8-week course that's in between the 2 live weekends. We have about 8 weeks where you are, you know, working, you're fitting it in around your own busy lifestyle. You get weekly modules through video tutorials, as well as you've got support through our groups, our Facebook groups, and we also have a monthly masterclass where we go deeper into a topic on kinesiology, and we get to meet you and support you and answer your questions. And so they're from all around the different parts of the country, and so that's a really nice thing to do, is to, through this medium as well, be able to help and support you and create that ripple effect of what you're doing, helping people with emotional stresses and foods and things like that. It's you know, when you only know how to do a few things, it's like amazing the results that you can get just by those things that we're thinking about every day, and what we're eating every day has such an impact. And to be able to change those or to help people and become aware of those things that they're doing in their lifestyle is incredibly rewarding. So when you book onto the course, this is myself here, and we've got Gloria and Natasha, who are part of the admin team, and you'll be meeting them through the various communications. And then, of course, our course leaders. So this is the team of course leaders who you meet online as well as in person, and they're here to support you and to share their passion for kinesiology. We have 11 different locations around the country, so we are pretty much nationwide. We have Clare up in Derry, Mella in Donegal, and all the way along and around the various different locations around Ireland. The courses are all starting. I think the first one is in Charleville or Mallow near Cork with Sheila. That is starting on the 9th and 10th of September. That's the first weekend for Sheila's course, but then pretty much throughout the rest of September and early October is the rest of the first weekends, and so check which ones might suit you the best around the country. So once you attend your first weekend, you get to really master the muscle testing aspect of kinesiology, and you get to practice it. You get to practice on each other, and it's you don't have to know you don't have to have done any biology. You don't have to do any anatomy and physiology. It's taught in a very down-to-earth, fun way, and no one's made to feel silly. Sometimes, oh my goodness, I'm sitting beside an acupuncturist, and they must know more. Everyone starts with with balanced health, regardless of any previous experience, because it's a very different way of working with the body, and so, as we said, no question is silly. We just love to see how you explore and start to discover kinesiology for yourself. So you attend the first weekend in one of the locations, and then all of the material is also available online as well. So even if you didn't capture every single thing that happened in the class, you can go back and you can watch the videos, press pause, rewind, fast forward over and over again, depending on your own learning style. This suits everybody. And what we've found since we've moved over to this blended learning environment, we have found that our students have become super, super confident. And it's really the only thing that holds people back before was, I wasn't too sure what I was doing. And, being able to watch everything again on video has made such a difference. So then we talked about, as part of the online, over the 3 months of the course, you will have access to the master classes. So we do live master classes and Q&A time. And you also have access to all the previous master classes. So we go in depth into a topic that gives us another chance to, add to the content that's up online, and kind of update you all on or explore in depth more of a systematic kinesiology topic. And then we have amazing support in our Facebook group. And this is where, this is a place where you can get to meet all the other students from different locations, and you can post your questions, share your successes, because, sometimes it's like nice to go, I made such a difference with that client, and you want to share it with people. So, and we're all very willing and enjoy sharing your successes. And there are good examples for people too. It's like, maybe I haven't helped someone with a particular problem, but we've got examples in the Facebook group where another person has been able to help somebody that you can use as an example. Great support in class and online. And we're coming up to September. Kids are going back to school, so this is the perfect time to reignite your passion for learning new things. We do need more people to become leaders in health. That's part of our vision is to be able to have lots of practitioners helping people get healthy. Because, as you said, the disconnect from where people are going, health is going down this crisis care. It's becoming more and more expensive to look after our health, and we need to do something about that. And sometimes, as I said, if you feel drawn to help others, this is a fantastic way in order to do that. So let's create a ripple effect of helping kids in school, parents and adults enjoying being pain-free, and reducing the effects of aging, so that we can retire and enjoy retirement without the worry and expense associated with older age. So kinesiology, it's had a profound effect on people with mental health issues. The simplest techniques have huge effects, and so it's an amazing area to be working in. So if you are interested in booking your place on the course, if you go to kinesiologyzone.com/book now, or even /training, on the training page, it'll give you the details of the course, but the book now is where you literally can book onto the specific course that you want to do. You'll select a venue of choice that we know. If you're interested in the Charleville course or the Sligo course or the Meath course, etc., you just select the course leader that you are working with. And then your investment is, so the full price is 1,097, but we are in early bird at the moment. This is the price available up to about 2 or 3 weeks before the start. But tonight, for all locations, if you are going to choose to do the full pay option, then if you use the coupon code SUNSHINE, because it's summertime. We've had a bit of rain here in Westport over the last day or two, but sunshine because it's summer. If you put that into the coupon code, and click apply, which is in this area here, then you'll get an extra 90 euros, or sorry, 97 euros off. So it'll become 900 euros, which is fantastic value. You have lifetime access to to all the videos in the online course, but that gives you access then to your 2 live weekends, all your course materials, and there's nothing extra to pay for. Yeah, we're looking to encourage you to kind of take that opportunity to say, you know what, now's the time to learn something new and to start, making a difference to your own life. Often we come to kinesiology with our own health issues, and if we can find where the problem is, then we can fix it, and it makes a huge difference to then feel inspired to go on and to do more to help others. This is Brian Butler, who taught me kinesiology back in finishing up in kind of 98 when I finished diploma. I went out to see him. He's retired now in Australia, and went out to see him earlier this year. Part of my vision for helping people in both Ireland and abroad, we ran a course over there in Perth in Australia for a group, and I've also been in India teaching kinesiology, and also Turkey as well, because this is something that is not only for Ireland. It's not something that is it's something that can be used by everybody. There's no tools or expensive items that you need to buy in order to do it. It's like you just need a willing participant and an ability to muscle test, and that's what I want to be able to do, is to share kinesiology with as many people as possible. And so yeah, popped over to those countries to see what we can start over there. But Ireland is in desperate need of turning this ship around. There's a lag time that's going to take a while to have the impact, but it is definitely time to decide if this is something that you are excited about doing as well. So if you are, head over to kinesiologyzone.com/book now, and remember that coupon code, which is sunshine, and you can get your extra special discount for tonight, for the next couple of days. But if you have any questions, do get in touch with us at the office, kinesiologyzone.com. The email is info@kinesiologyzone.com. So I'm just going to go back to this page here with the coupon code, and if you are interested in signing up for a course, go and have a look at the website, because it has all the dates of when the courses are happening. And we have, of course, our where's our little map? There we go. There's all the different locations. These guys are so enthusiastic about sharing kinesiology. If you are keen to know a little bit more about kinesiology before you sign on the dotted line, then they also run taster events. And those taster events are like 2 or 3 hour workshops where you can also get a sense of, is it something for you? But I encourage you to, if you've been inspired tonight by what is the potential of this rewarding, fulfilling career, helping others master their health, and, by mastering your own health as well, you really feel the benefits, and can often be inspired to help others as well. So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this evening, and I look forward to welcoming you into our course, and hope you've enjoyed this evening. Thanks very much.